There has never been a pitcher quite like Lynn Nolan Ryan Jr. For starters, the man often called the Ryan Express struck out 5,714 batters in his remarkable career. Let's put that into perspective. First, that's about 17% more than the number 2 pitcher all time, Randy Johnson. Or to put it—
Damn, Randy, hold on, how many years did Nolan Ryan play though? Like how many, did he play more years than Big Unit? Cause Big Unit? Let's get back to the video, bro. This is how to request a video though, man. Y'all already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, man.
If a modern day ace like Jacob deGrom were to strike out 255 hitters in a season, as deGrom did in his last full season in 2019, it would take 22 straight campaigns to get to Nolan Ryan territory. And even then, he would still be 104 strikeouts short of Ryan's record. In other words, no one's even close. And more than likely, nobody's ever going to get close. And not only did Ryan strike out more batters than any hurler ever has, he threw more no-hitters, pitched more innings, threw more pitches, and through it all, Ryan never gave in to a hitter, never took a pitch off. Even down in the count, he was still trying to throw unhittable offerings. Results be damned.
Boy, his arm, boy, like he trying to throw that motherfucker through the catcher glove. Hold on.
Threw more pitches, and through it all, Ryan never gave in to a hitter, never took a pitch off. Even down in the count, he was still trying to throw unhittable offerings. Results be damned. He wanted to strike out every batter he ever faced and make them look bad while doing it. And with the triple-digit fastball, sick curve, and fading changeup added late in his career, it wasn't very hard. Thanks to 100 batters in a season 11 times, though some could argue that this lack of control only served to intimidate hitters all—
Yeah, because he was throwing heaters. That actually probably help him get more strikeouts because niggas probably was scared to hit that motherfucker. They probably leaning away trying to hit it. Ooh! If it coming in hot. Hey, well, that number 34 though, I need it. That number 34? I need that jersey.
Season 11 times, though some could argue that this lack of control only served to intimidate hitters all the more. The game has simply never seen anyone like Nolan Ryan. After he threw his record 7th no-hitter at the age of 44, Jim Reeves, a sports writer with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, remarked, "Somewhere in another league where the cheering never stops and the beer is icy cold, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Ty Cobb and, yes, Shoeless Joe too, are waiting for their starting pitcher to arrive so the game can start."
That's hard. Now, whoever commentator said that was hard. Whoever said that, that's fire. That's hard. I ain't gonna lie. That's hard.
Before, Jim Reeves, a sports writer with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, remarked, "Somewhere in another league where the cheering never stops and the beer is icy cold, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Ty Cobb and, yes, Shoeless Joe too, are waiting for their starting pitcher to arrive so the game can start." Young Nolan Ryan grew up in Alvin, Texas, near Houston. He strengthened his arm as a boy the old-fashioned way, throwing newspapers. Starting at age 8, Nolan woke up early every morning to help his father deliver the Houston Post. Throwing hundreds of papers before sunrise not only bolstered his arm strength, it developed a rigorous work ethic that would never leave him. Nolan's arm became the stuff of legend in Alvin very quickly. In junior high, he could stand on the goal line of the football field and chuck a softball into the other end zone. In high school, he became a feared pitcher on the mound. And I do mean feared. In one game, he hit the leadoff batter in the head, cracking his batting helmet.
He got that motherfucker signed by him? Oh, that's hard. He kept the helmet that hit him across the head. He got it signed. That's fire. That's legendary stuff.
And I do mean feared. In one game, he hit the leadoff batter in the head, cracking his batting helmet. He then proceeded to break the next batter's arm with an offering. The guy who's due up next understandably refused to get into the batter's box at first. When he finally did, Ryan struck him out on 3 pitches. Ryan was still very much a work in progress and did not land on many Major League Scouts' radars. The Mets took him in the 12th round of the draft in 1965 with the 295th pick. That's right, 294 players were taken before Nolan Ryan. The following year, Nolan made quick work of the Appalachian League, mowing down 313 total hitters and 3 minor league stops before being called up to make his major league debut at Shea Stadium in September, at the ripe old age of 19. Ryan did not get a chance to become a rotation starter for the Mets until 1968. In his first start that April, he got his first win, throwing 6 2/3 shutout innings. Ryan went just 6-9 that season, but the rookie's fastball was already catching the attention of National League hitters, and some of the best at that. League MVP Orlando Cepeda observed, "Nolan Ryan is the best young pitcher I've ever ever seen in the major leagues. And now
Yeah,
24
30.
had not become the young phenom
I need that young Nolan Ryan jersey. That number 30 Mets jersey, yeah.
that many had anticipated. His career record, something that mattered more at the time, stood at an abysmal 29-38, and he was averaging around 6 walks per game. His ERA+, a metric used to measure how good a pitcher is relative to their peers, routinely sat around 100, or league average territory.
Hey, but why do it seem like all the great pitchers start off bad? The big unit, Greg Murdoch, Mad Dog, all of them start
And was
kind of
not
like
happy
shaky.
and was ready to give up baseball entirely rather than continue playing for the Mets. He told his wife Ruth that if New York did not trade him that offseason, he would quit entirely. So, thank goodness the Mets did end up trading him to the California Angels that December, along with 3 other players for shortstop Jim Fregosi, in what ended up being one of the most lopsided deals in big league history.
Damn.
Over the next few seasons in California, Ryan would reel off some of the most insane numbers a pitcher has ever compiled. It all started because the Angels, unlike the Mets, worked to help develop Ryan's potential. Pitching coach Tom Morgan helped Ryan overhaul his delivery. With his new, higher leg kick and insane stride length, Ryan felt like he was right on top of opposing hitters before he even let go of the pitch. It made his 100-mile-per-hour fastball look even faster than it already was.
Yeah, the hundo?
He also learned to throw his wicked curveball more consistently, helping him to keep hitters guessing. Ryan also started a weight training program that he would continue for the rest of his career. In the early 1970s, most baseball players did not lift weights, especially pitchers. Muscle mass was considered a liability, one that would kill flexibility and arm movement in pitchers. Ryan helped prove these outdated beliefs were wrong entirely. In 1972, his first year as an Angel, Ryan won 19 games and struck out a jaw-dropping 329 batters. He might have won 30 games if the Angels could have scored him some runs, something that would become a consistent theme during his time in California.
Damn.
6 times that season, Ryan allowed 2 runs or less, but lost because the Angels got shut out. I feel like I have to pitch a shutout every night or lose, the blunt Ryan told the press. If I throw one bad pitch, I'll be beaten. He was basically Jacob deGrom before Jacob deGrom.
Damn.
Nolan Ryan was even better in 1973, enjoying one of the most dominant seasons by a pitcher in baseball history. He won 21 games, had a 2.87 ERA, and broke Sandy Koufax's single-season mark by striking out a mind-numbing 383 hitters. I'll say that again, 383 strikeouts.
Bro, he had 321 and then 383, bro. That's 700 strikeouts in 2 seasons. Basically 700. That's nasty. That's legendary. That's something of legends.
Somehow, he finished second in the Cy Young voting to Jim Palmer, who had a better winning percentage but more than 200 fewer strikeouts. Was Koufax-esque, at least in terms of his raw power.
Bro, see what I'm, bro? What is we doing, bro? Big Unit won 4 Cy Youngs in a row, or 4 whatever in a row. This man lost to somebody who, come on, he had 200 less strikeouts. What is we doing, baseball? What, they didn't like load around or something?
Ryan threw 4 no-hitters as an Angel to tie Koufax's career record, and he had not 1, not 2, but 5 300 strikeout seasons. He averaged more than 7 innings per start. His fastball was timed at a record 100.9 miles per hour one night, which was probably an underestimate, but still, this stood as the official world record for years. On days when it was Ryan's turn to pitch, opposing hitters had a tendency to ask out of the lineup, a disease that came to be known as Ryanitis. This dominance was juxtaposed by a ton of walks, often over 150, sometimes even climbing into the 200s a season.
Damn.
But overall, he was
How
universally
was he walking
considered
so many-
baseball's most dominant pitcher.
Bro, was he just hitting everybody with that mama? Walking everybody.
And hitters could not stop themselves from raving about Ryan's devastating stuff. Slugger Oscar Gamble said that a good game against Ryan was going 0 for 4 and not getting hit in the head. Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson said, "You don't face Ryan without your rest. He's the only guy I go against that makes me go to bed before midnight." 2-time MVP Dale Murphy said, "He is the only pitcher you start thinking about 2 days before you face him." Dave Duncan, who would later become a successful pitching coach with the A's and Cardinals, perhaps put it best. "A guy like Ryan," he said, "doesn't just get you out, he embarrasses you. There are times when you feel like you've won some sort of victory by just making contact with the ball." When Ryan was on, hitters had no chance. Once, when Ryan was 1 out from one of his no-hitters, Detroit Tigers slugger Norm Cash walked up to the plate, not with the bat, but with a wooden table leg that had been ripped off a table in the Tiger clubhouse. "Check his bat," Ryan shouted from the mound at the home plate umpire, who, after a good laugh, asked Cash to grab a real bat. Cash responded, "Why? I'm not going to get a hit anyway." And he didn't.
Damn, that's crazy. He said, "I'm not gonna get a hit anyway." That nigga came out there with a table leg. Nah, that's hilarious. Nah, this is funny. Nolan Ryan was really like that. That's crazy. He's God.
Cash got a real bat, popped up, and Ryan had his no-hitter. Ryan was a workhorse as few have ever been on the mound. His pitch counts were obscene and would get a manager fired today. In a June 1974 ball game against
pitch count was it would get a manager fired. Bro, if he stands 7 innings plus, yeah. I don't think pitchers do that nowadays, bro. I don't know why not. When they get tired, y'all let me know in the comments why pitchers don't pitch that late in the game no more, bro. Why they stop doing that, bro? How you gonna get your strikeout?
Popped up, and Ryan had his no-hitter. Ryan was a workhorse as few have ever been on the mound. His pitch counts were obscene and would get a manager fired today. In a June 1974 ball game against the Red Sox, Ryan threw 13 innings with 19 strikeouts and 10 walks. He faced 58 Red Sox hitters. Today's pitchers rarely face 30 batters in a ball game. In 4 of his first 5 seasons with the Angels, Ryan threw more than 280 innings. By 1979, the 32-year-old Ryan still had good stuff. He went 16-14 and struck out 223 batters, but the Angels felt like his best years were behind him, with their GM famously remarking that Nolan Ryan can be replaced by 2 8-7 pitchers.
Damn.
Big mistake. As it turned out, Nolan Ryan was just getting warmed up. The Ryan Express wasn't even halfway done with his big league career, and many of his greatest moments were still to come, and back in his home state of Texas. After signing one of the biggest deals in the early history of free agency, Nolan Ryan fulfilled a lifelong dream by returning to pitch for his hometown Houston Astros. As an Astro, he continued to mow down hitters and surpass pitching milestones. In July 1980, he recorded his 3,000th career strikeout. The following season, he no-hit none other than the powerhouse Los Angeles Dodgers, who would later win the World Series. It was his 5th career no-hitter, breaking another Koufax record. Ryan finished the strike-shortened season of 1981 with a minuscule 1.69 ERA and a ridiculous 1.95 ERA+, the highest of his career. Then, at the start of the 1983 season, Ryan broke Walter Johnson's career strikeout record of 3,509, a number that had been on the books since 1927.
1927? Nigga out there back in the day. No TVs, no nothing. That's crazy. The only person who knew about it was the people who was there. That's crazy. Well, the newspaper.
4,000 came in 1985, and the Ryan Express just kept on chugging. After all, he was only 38 at the time, an age pretty old for some pitchers, but practically a spring chicken for the rough and tumble righty. In 1987, Ryan led the National League in ERA and strikeouts, but thanks to a lack of run support, went 8-16. He finished 5th in the Cy Young voting despite an extreme bias towards winning percentage at the time. His 1.42 ERA+ also led the league and registered as the highest mark in a full season in his career. Thanks to his workout regimen, Ryan maintained a body that was stronger and fitter than most of his younger peers. He led the league in strikeouts again in 1988 as a 41-year-old. Yet Houston, like the Angels, decided he was getting too old and decided the veteran needed a pay cut. Ryan decided he needed a change of scenery and more money, and moved up the road to Arlington to join the Texas Rangers.
I know that nigga arm hurting. He been slinging fastballs for 20 years. He 38. Bro, what? And bro, my thing is, he didn't get no Cy Youngs. How many Cy Youngs did he get, bro? Like, they just didn't like Nolan. I mean, his record was 8-16, but damn, his team bad.
Amazingly, the Ryan Express just kept on chugging into his mid-40s. In his first season with the Rangers, Ryan struck out a league-leading 301 hitters, the 6th time he had hit the 300 strikeout mark in his career. That August, he also posted career strikeout number 5,000. The following season in 1990, as a 43-year-old, Ryan pitched his 6th career no-hitter, beating the defending world champion Oakland A's. He did so despite constant pain in his lower back that later turned out to be a stress fracture. It wasn't all that bad, Ryan observed after the game. It only hurt when I threw the ball. That same season, Ryan returned to the mound and won his 300th game against the Brewers. Then, in May 1991, the 44-year-old Ryan took the mound against Toronto, the best hitting team in the American League. In an epic performance, he shut down the Blue Jays, notching his mind-boggling 7th career no-hitter, a number that will almost certainly never be equaled. Finally, the 46-year-old Ryan's body started to break down, with 1993 proving to be his final campaign with the Rangers.
When he was 46? Yeah, he was trying to get all them numbers. He wasn't playing. He was like, I need all of them. I need all of them. 46 out there throwing fast heaters. His arm, I know his arm gonna need like 3 years of just ice packs. Like, just sitting in an ice pack. Like, bruh, wore his arm out. He gonna have to get surgery on that.
And of his 27 MLB seasons. However, Ryan still had some surprises up his sleeve, including one last intimidating moment, one that to this day still lives on as perhaps the most viral moment of his entire career. It was a hot August day in Texas, and Robin Ventura, the White Sox 26-year-old all-star third baseman, strode to the plate against the then 46-year-old Ryan. He'd already singled against Ryan earlier. Nolan proceeded to bring the heat up and in, beating young Robin. Ventura dropped his bat, tossed his helmet, and charged the mound. Ryan proceeded to hog-tie the young whippersnapper and hammered him with a volley of noogie punches to the head in what was later called the Texas haircut.
The Texas haircut. He was trimming him up. Bro, the youngin'. Why the youngin' come in there like that? Why he come in ducking? You supposed to come in with your dukes up. He came in ducking. What is you doing, young fella? That pitch hurt, though. That pitch was fast and it hurt it. Understandable. Understandable.
He'd already singled against Ryan earlier. Nolan proceeded to bring the heat up and in, beating young Robin. Ventura dropped his bat, tossed his helmet, and charged the mound. Ryan proceeded to hog-tie the young whippersnapper and hammered him with a volley of noogie punches to the head in what was later called the Texas haircut. A badass moment for a truly badass pitcher, encapsulating the final years of his MLB tenure succinctly, beating on much younger players, embarrassing them constantly in the process. Ryan's last career start was September 22nd, 1993 in Seattle. In the first inning, Ryan felt something pop. It was the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow.
Bro, you was 80 years old trying to throw fastballs. You thought that arm was not going. What is you doing? Bruh. I ain't gonna lie, he a legend though. Legend, nigga. One of the, what?
In the process. Ryan's last career start was September 22nd, 1993 in Seattle. In the first inning, Ryan felt something pop. It was the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow. There's no way I'll ever be able to throw again, he said after the game. My body is telling me it's time to move on and do something else. Several pitchers in the history of the game have dominated their opponents as well as Nolan Ryan in his prime, but no other lasted as long.
Hey, buddy, through one pitcher was like, yeah, this was my last pitch, guys, yeah.
Long as Ryan did. Thanks to his pioneering exercise regimen and truly remarkable natural gifts, Ryan sustained a 27-year career that will more than likely never be equaled. He was quiet, he was tough, and he was disciplined. He didn't smoke, didn't do anything reckless in the off-season, married his high school sweetheart, and celebrated his no-hitters with orange juice instead of champagne. And despite some erratic early seasons, Ryan rebounded to post some of the most impressive stats in the history of the major leagues. 5,714 career strikeouts, 5,386 innings pitched, 324 wins, and 6.6 hits per 9, with some perhaps equally impressive negative numbers as well, including 2,795 walks, 4.7 walks per 9, and 277 wild pitches.
Damn!
Oh, yeah. And he also threw 7 no-hitters, and 6 300-plus strikeout seasons, all while pitching until he was nearly 50. That's why we here at MTC believe we can confidently say that there will never be another.
Let me tell y'all something right now. Is there any other player, any other sports history that did it for 27 years? Sports history. 27? That crazy, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all think, bro. Do y'all think? I don't know if he to go, though. I think I got to still give it the big unit, bro. I really think I got to give it the big unit, bro. He ain't getting no Cy Youngs. Big unit won like 4 in a row. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, though. I ain't, historian, but let me know what y'all think about it, man. But I'm telling you next, man. No cap.